Introducing GForce TV. GForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GForce TV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GForce TV racing leagues. GForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GForce TV.
The nationally televised on TSN and award-winning 3-9 Productions. We welcome you to the virtual USA International Speedway here in Lakeland, Florida for tonight's live coverage of the GeForce Racing League Renegades. Tonight's race is just one of 10 GeForce Racing League divisions that compete during the week, and we're happy you've joined us for tonight's program. At this time, we'd like to ask everyone to pause for tonight's national anthems before we get tonight's racing action underway. Now, the playing of the Canadian National Anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And ladies and gentlemen, Kaylee Zuloff presents our tribute to the red, white, and blue. Here now, the American National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the
Anthem, what a great job she does for us with those. We are ready to roll off with heat race number 1. Let's get to it. Heat race number 1, brought to you by A&J Custom Creations. Specializing in laser engraving and CNC machining, A&J puts their craftsmanship to work in every wood trophy and plaque they produce. Contact A&J Custom Creations to order yours today. Heat race number 1, starting lineup will go like this. Starting on the pole tonight in car number 30, it's going to be Stephen Goldner out of Aylmer, Ontario, the Stephen Goldner Racing Ride. Starting to his outside aboard car number 157, that's going to be Jesse Bandy out of Rochester, Minnesota, the Bandy Built Race Cars, BuyOil.com. Wagaman Brothers sponsored ride. Row 2 to the inside. Out of Cedro, Willie Washington, the all-in construction and landscaping number 78. That is Jack Clevenger for Team Radine Racing. He'll start alongside the Bandy Built Race Cars. 193 of Brandon Schultz, our Spring Series champion. Row number 3 to the inside will be the 110 of Trevor Graybow out of Rochester, Minnesota, the Bandy Built Race Cars. 02 Designs ride. And starting to his outside aboard car number 46K out of Crook, South Dakota. It's the Epsilon Sprint Wraps. Dakota Ethanol Coast to Coast Racing with Kreitz Racing ride. That is Joe Backus. Row number 4 will be the 90 of Jeff Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick out of Blaine, Minnesota. He'll start alongside Sean Bowers in the 03 as they bring him down here to the green flag. Lane Snook will start 9th. Fast Lane Snook not able to transfer a time trial time as they're racing down the back straightaway. We are green flag racing here with heat race number 1 as they bring it down to the line for the first time. And it will be the 30 of Stephen Goldner who leads them. Goldner aboard the Stephen Goldner Racing, number 30 out of Aylmer, Ontario, Canada. Jack Clevenger currently riding in position number 3 as he is under attack here from the 193 of Brandon Schultz. You remember to last week's Strickland GM A-Main. These two drivers made a little bit of contact in the A-Main. We'll keep our eyes here on this battle for 3rd and 4th as they are now trying to close in on the 157 of Jesse Bandy. Bandy leads them off of turn number 4. They'll put lap number 3 on the board. 3 in, 5 to go. It's been all Stephen Goldner from the drop of the green rag. He right on board here with Brandon Schultz. Schultzy down to the inside, right in the tire tracks of Jack Clevenger out of Cedro, Willie Washington. The all-in construction and landscaping, number 78. Out of the Sim Racing Concepts Radine Racing team. And now Schultz gets a great run on the outside as they go to turn number 3. The outside lane's really not the place to be right now, and you just saw it right there. Clevenger was able to drive right back by. The outside lane will be king later on, I'm sure. But right now, the bottom lane is where you want to be. Top 4 cars were inverted, so it was Schultzy who was fastest in this group. But with the track being as locked down, hammered down as it is right now, 4th place starting spot isn't where you want to be. And right now, Schultz holding on to that 4th spot. That's where he started, as he is working all over Jack Clevenger for position number 3. But Clevenger with the spot off of turn number 4. White flag is out, presented by 3-9 Productions, and it is for the 30 of Stephen Goldner. Stephen Goldner, who has just dominated the Ohsweken Speedway iRacing events throughout the extended off season, will bring it down to the line to pick up the win in heat race number 1. And we had a photo finish for that 4th and final transfer spot. Goldner is in there with the win. 2nd across the line was Jesse Bandy. Jack Clevenger was 3rd. Brandon Schultz 4th, but just by a hair over Trevor Graybaum in the 110. So that will bring us to heat race number 2. We'll see if the track widens out just a little bit here. Heat race number 2 brought to you by B-Fins, iRacing Paints and Graphic Design. Looking for a great racing wrap or a top quality custom t-shirt? Contact B-Fins today. And speaking of B-Fins, Mr. B-Fin himself, Braden Finsel, going to roll away from position number 1 aboard the Finsel Motorsports, B-Fins. iRacing Paints and Graphics, F1, driver out of Fostoria, Ohio. The very first GForce Racing League Renegades champion. He'll start alongside the Michigan Madman. That's Garrett Pepiot in the Parabellum Motorsports, number 47. Winner of the VE75 just a few weeks ago. Kyle Moonen aboard car number 24. Picked up a big win last week here with the Renegades. He'll start alongside car number 414. That is Brennan Lacey. It's going to display here as car number 4. Lacey out of Bixby, Oklahoma. Got a new team he'll be racing for here this last couple of weeks here. Jumping aboard the Vanderbilt Race Cars team. Greg Boydell out of the Ohsweken Speedway Stream Team, Turn 2 cameraman. He's been busy with Operation Green Flag here up north of the border, doing some streaming events up in Canada. He'll start alongside the driver out of Murrieta, California in the 661K. That is Terry Landis and the Galen's Homemade Popcorn. Oh, what the hell. Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo! Terry Landis aboard car number 661K. And your final row will be the 5 of Donovan Ross out of Burlington, Washington. The Devo Transport number 5. He'll start alongside car number 7. That is Shane Kelly. Shane Kelly, who has a victory here at the USA International Speedway. He will be tough to contend with tonight, but folks, he's got to come from position number 8 here tonight. Folks, if you joined us here on the 3-9 Productions Facebook page, give us a like, give us a share. Let all your racing buddies know what you're watching here this evening with us as we take the green flag off of turn number 4. B-Fins iRacing and iRacing Paints and Graphic Design. Heat race number 2 is underway. And it is B-Fins himself, Braden Finsel down the back straightaway. He'll lead him to turn number 3. Enters just a little bit high on the racetrack. Opened up the door for just a moment. There for the Michigan Madman, Garrett Pepiot, the team leader for Parabellum Motorsports, as he's down to the inside lane on Finsel off the second turn. Great race for the lead as they go to turn number 3. Kyle Moonen and Brennan Lacey right there with him. Couple of Vanderbilt race car teammates trying to close in on your top 2. And now we go with the Michigan Madman here as he goes back down to the inside lane one more time. Couldn't make it happen. He'll lose about a half a car length to Finsel into turn number 3. And let's dial up one of those great onboard cameras here as they work down the front straightaway halfway home. 4 in and 4 to go, and we're going to ride on board here with the Michigan Madman, Garrett Pepiot. Wheel to wheel, they race for the lead down the back straightaway. It's Finsel and Pepiot. Pepiot hard down to the inside, trying to pull that slide job off of turn 4. He'll do so, but Finsel is down to the bottom. New race leader at the line, it's Garrett Pepiot, but here goes Finsel. B-Fins with a big slider in turn number 2, but Pepiot will turn it back underneath him. Finsel fighting hard back on the outside lane, but he had to crack the throttle just a little bit, and now he's going to try and save it for that run off of turn 4, but now here comes Kyle Moonen. Moonen had to check up just a little bit and tuck back into line. They'll race through turns 1 and 2 and down the long back straightaway here at the USA International Speedway. Coming up on the popsicle sticks, 2 laps to go this time by, as it will be Garrett Pepiot, Braden Finsel, Kyle Moonen, and the 414 of Brennan Lacey. 2 to go, and it was Pepiot who took the lead with 3 to go. Finsel tucked into line, and now you get a look out the front bumper of the 24 of Kyle Moonen. Kyle Moonen in the 24 out of Lima, Ohio. Sprint car capital of Ohio, as he is now trying to close in on the second place running Braden Finsel. Finsel gets the concrete just a little bit off of turn 2, and he is going to lose some ground to your race leader as it's Garrett Pepiot out of the Parabellum Motorsports team. He will win B-Fins iRacing Paints and Graphics Design Heat Race number 2. Second across the line was B-Fins himself. Kyle Moonen finishes 3rd. And rounding out your top 4 qualifiers out of this second heat race was Brennan Lacey. 3rd heat race of 4 getting ready to line up here on the front straightaway. This third heat race brought to you by iRacing League Manager. If you run or manage an iRacing League, let iRacing League Manager make it easier for you. Go to IRLM.com for more information. That's IRLM.com for more information. The iRacing League Manager, boy, if you run an iRacing League and you want an easy way to keep track of everything, registrations, points, everything, iRacing League Manager has it all. Give them a shout. IRLM.com. Heat race number 3 is gridded up here. Let's tell you about the starting lineup. Going away from the pole here out of Naples, New York. In the Whispering Pines Getaway Airbnb, Schultz Heating and Cooling, number 16. That is Mike Schultz. Mike Schultz out of Naples, New York will take it away from the pole. Starting to his outside, the youngster, the football player out of Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, in the Parabellum Motorsports. Number 35, that is Connor Ross. Row number 2 to the inside, transfer and winner out of the Rebels division here tonight, carrying the 000s, that's Ludovic Buisson. Ludo, take it away from position number 3. Matthew Croakey in car number 2, got a new team this week. Paired up with the Twisted Motorsports team and the Velocity Race Designs, Joe Blacksbar, Acme Tools, Greg's Lawn Care number 2. He'll take it away from the 4th spot all the way out of Grand Forks, North Dakota. Row number 3 to the inside, aboard car number 73 is going to be Larry Moody out of St. Louis, Missouri, in the Glenn Stiers Racing Ohsweken Speedway Wagon Casey I-55 Lawyers of Missouri sponsored ride. He'll start alongside car number 32, that is Wyatt Vick. Wyatt Vick aboard car number 32 out of Evansville, Indiana, formerly of Aztec, New Mexico. Jeffrey Barker, our racing veteran, aboard car number 513. He comes to us out of Brewerton, New York. He'll start alongside the 07, the A-Lit Outlaw, that is Preston Cranmer, in the Galen's Homemade Popcorn Epsilon Sprint Wraps 07K. That'll do it here for your starting lineup here in Heat Race number 3. Again, Heat Race number 3, brought to you by the iRacing League Manager. Visit IRLM.com for more information. 8 laps is the distance. Top 4 go to the A main. Top 4 have been inverted, as they will bring it off a turn number 4, and it is Schultz that'll bring them to the green flag. Green lights are on. Heat race number 3 is underway. Schultz about pulled a wheelie there at the green flag, and that allowed Connor Ross to sweep around the outside, and Ross is going to take over the race lead down the back straightaway. He brought Ludovic Buisson with him, as Buisson will take over the 2 spot. That'll shuffle Schultz back to 3rd, and now the battle is going to be on for that final transfer spot. Matthew Croakey holding on for dear life to position number 4 as they work down the back straightaway, as Ludo takes the wall, coming down the back straightaway, kind of gathered it back in, and he'll tuck back in the line, as now guys are starting to drift up the racetrack further and further, as you see Larry Moody trying to dust off the concrete in turn number 2. That racing line has moved high, but it hasn't quite moved that high just yet. And now Moody out of St. Louis, Missouri, down to the inside of Matthew Croakey. Could not make it happen that time off the turn 4. He'll have to re-rack it and try again. 4 laps in the books. We've got 4 to go, and it is Connor Ross, the youngster out of Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, showing the way, and now he's going to get a challenge here from the 000s. That's Ludo trying to chase him down. Ludovic Buisson in the 000. Trying to chase down Connor Ross for the top spot. Schultz has put distance on Larry Moody, who's now taking over the 4th and final transfer spot. He wrestled that away from Croakey last time through turns 1 and 2. 5 laps are in, 3 to go, and it's still Ross. Buisson is closing in. Good battle for the top spot, but they got to remember they're in the show right now. We always talk about that risk-reward. How much are you willing to risk in a heat race? Knowing that you're in the show. It's great to win heat races, but they don't pay anything in the pay window. Down the back straightaway they go, as it is Ross, and I'll tell you what, when they come down the back straightaway, if that doesn't remind you of years past at the Moody Mile in Syracuse, I don't know what does, man. That is a great shot as they come off of turn 2 and down that long back straightaway. White flag is out, and it is for Connor Ross. Down the back chute for the final time. Gleason is closing in, but it looks like Ross is going to be able to hold on as he runs that slider line through 3 and 4. He gained a car length, and Connor Ross will take the checkered flag here in heat race number 3. So Connor Ross with a great run here in heat race number 3. He read the safety and delivered a strike for 6 points to win that third heat race. Gleason, Mike Schultz, Larry Moody all transfer to tonight's A-Main. That'll bring us up to heat race number 4. Heat race number 4 tonight brought to you by 39 Productions. If you've got a race that you'd like to get broadcasted here on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, wherever it is that you'd like it to go to, visit 39 Productions on Facebook. Facebook.com/39Productions. And get a hold of us. Heat race number 4 rolling off. Let's tell you how they're going to line up. Going away from the pole here aboard car number 11, the Pink Flyer out of Welland, Ontario, Canada. The American Dirt Motorsports, Dirt Company Media House, Ram Designs, FBRN sponsored ride. That is Chad Cote. Chad Cote in the 11. He'll start alongside the driver out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and the Galen's Homemade Popcorn. Epsilon Sprint Wraps, number 51K out of the Kreitz Racing. Coast to Coast Racing Sim Team, that is Jonathan Short. Row 2 to the inside aboard car number 767. That is Chase Hess. Chase Hess, a transfer out of our Rebels race earlier tonight. He'll start alongside the driver of the 10 out of Fisher, Minnesota. The Velocity Race Designs, Easy Ease Auto, JZ iRacing Photos. Number 10, that is Ross Corinta. Row 3 to the inside aboard car number 21 is going to be Kevin Fry, the racing guy out of Burleson, Texas. Our racing official, he'll start alongside Matthew Ramsey aboard car number 45 out of Fresno, California. The Bob's Dive Shop NV5 CMIS sponsored ride. Row number 4 to the inside out of St. Catharines, Ontario. That is going to be Chris Steele, 360 sprint car competitor. He'll start alongside Jordan Hack aboard car number 57. Hack out of Grand Island, Nebraska, the Parabellum Motorsports first class cleaning Chado's auto body ride, and out back on the field slated to be the 36 of Andrew Hansen, and it doesn't look like Andrew has made the call here for this 4th and final heat race. So 4 spots remain in the big show. Who's going to get them? We'll find out together here as the green flag is out. Flag man waving the crap out of that green rag, and we are racing to turn number 1. Oh, look out, we've got a mess in turn 2. Shorty into the wall. And that car dog tracking down the back straightaway. I did that in the Rebels race earlier tonight. Very, very easy to do. You carry so much speed here at USA as look at this pack here. 3 wide into turn number 1. That was for the 4th and final transfer spot. And Corinta, oh, he almost made it work. Spun the tires coming off of turn number 2. As he tried to keep that car underneath him, it really worked well on entry, but just couldn't carry the speed off the corner. That's going to allow Chase Hess to hold on to that 4th and final transfer spot, but boy, is he getting a challenge. Here comes Jordan Hack, here comes Ross Corinta. 2 of the racier guys on tour, ready to duke it out here. Oh, look out, Hess is sideways. 1 car up into the fence. Corinta got a piece of that as well. And we will race on down the back straightaway. And it is Chad Cote, as Cote is starting to check out. And he's missing a hell of a race behind him, but I'm sure he don't mind. As now the battle rages on again here for that 4th and final transfer spot. Chase Hess through the middle. Now drifts out to the outside, and Corinta will cross him up down the back straightaway. Now Corinta down to the bottom and Hess to the outside. Corinta with a monster run through 3 and 4. Tries to hold the 4 spot. He will at the line as they're racing down into the corner. What a battle here for the final transfer spot as we have got 3 laps to go. Chase Hess, another 3 wide into turn 3. Corinta with a huge slider. Sold the farm going into turn number 3. As we've now got 2 laps to go, and there's contact there between Corinta and Hess. Corinta's got to gather it back in. Hess did not get a good run off the corner. This battle is far from over. Coming down to the white flag this time for Chad Cote as he leads them here at the stripe. But we are going to watch this battle for 4th as it is not over yet. They have taken the gloves off here in heat race number 4. Who's going to the big show? Corinta has put himself into position to make that big slide job, and there he goes, going after the big slider. Hess has gotten the break, trying to turn it back underneath him. Drag race to the line, and it was Hess. Hess by 4 1/1000ths of a second. 4 1/1000ths of a second. That's not even a hair off your head for the final transfer spot. Wow. What a finish here in heat race number 4. And that is going to set us up for tonight's eToronto Tickets B Main. Tonight's GForce Renegades B Main is brought to you by eToronto Tickets. Toronto and North America's ticketing choice for major concerts, shows, and sporting events. Remember, eToronto Tickets doesn't charge additional fees. So get your fee-free tickets today from eToronto Tickets. eToronto Tickets sponsoring tonight's B Main, and this is the final opportunity for 8 more drivers to punch their ticket into tonight's 40-lap A Main. 20 cars, actually I'm looking like it actually might be 17 cars, are slated to take the green, and this is going to be a dogfight all the way to the end. 8 cars will transfer to the big show. Here's how they'll roll off. Going away from the pole, in car number 110 out of Rochester, Minnesota, the Vanderbilt Race Cars, buyoil.com. 110, that is Trevor Graybow, and starting to his outside aboard car number 7 is going to be Shane Kelly. Shane Kelly in car number 7. Matthew Croakey will line up on the inside of row number 2. He is out of Grand Forks, North Dakota. He'll start alongside the 10 of Ross Corinta out of Fisher, Minnesota. Sean Bowers will line up 5th here on your starting grid. He'll start alongside Marietta, California's Terry Landis in the Galen's Homemade Popcorn, Kreitz Racing 661K. Wyatt Vick out of Evansville, Indiana will start alongside Kevin Fry out of Burleson, Texas. Jeff Fitzpatrick out of Blaine, Minnesota will start alongside Greg Boydell out of Hamilton, Ontario. Jeffrey Barker's out of Brewerton, New York. He'll start alongside Jonathan Shorty out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Row number 7 to the inside will be the 46 of Joe Backus. He'll start alongside the 5 of Donovan Ross out of Burlington, Washington. Preston Cranmer's out of Aylett, Virginia. He'll start alongside Jordan Hack, who is out of Grand Island, Nebraska. And Fastlane Snook in car number 123 out of the HRH Motorsports Big Bacon Media Camp. He will line up shotgun on your starting field here in tonight's eToronto Tickets B Main. So here we go, folks. 12 laps is the distance. Top 8 go to the feature. It's that time in the program when we say last call, last dance, last chance to make the big dance. That's the eToronto Tickets B Main, and they are green off of turn number 4. Green lights are on, and they are racing down the back straightaway as it is Trevor Graybow in car number 110. It's going to lead them into the corner. What a great battle here for the top spot as Shane Kelly is right there with him. And look at these drivers 2 by 2 behind him. Oh, one car is up into the fence hard. I think that might have been Jonathan Short in the 51. We'll have to check and see. Looked like a red and white car. Actually, I don't think it was Short. I think it was another car. As now we'll watch this battle for the race lead as Ross Corinta has put it up to position number 2. Corinta leads them down the back straightaway. That is Corinta in second, just out of Shane Kelly. And he is now going after Trevor Graybow. Now here's an interesting thought. Yes, the B main for qualified cars, sets you up for your starting position in the A main. But right now the question is, how hard are these guys willing to race each other? Is winning the B main really all it's cracked up to be? Corinta looks like he might have just a tick faster car. They're pretty even off of turn number 4. But if you're Ross Corinta, how aggressive do you want to be? 4 laps in the books, 8 laps to go. You got to be in the top 8 to make the big show here tonight. Let's check in with the drivers right now running around that 8th and final transfer spot. Last time across the line, it was Jeff Fitzpatrick with that spot. As they work into turns 3 and 4, you get a look here at Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick was on the outside looking in when the green rag dropped here for the eToronto Tickets B main. He gained a spot to get to 8th, and that's where he's got to be. But he has got the cars chasing him. That is the 57 of Jordan Hack. Jordan Hack, who was on the outside looking in his heat race, trying to take over that final transfer spot in the Parabellum Motorsports 57. Hack is working over Jeff Fitzpatrick for that final transfer spot. Battling off of turn number 4 as now Fitzpatrick wants to get an insurance spot away from Wyatt Vick. Vick out of Evansville, Indiana in car number 32W. Holds on to position number 7 down the back straightaway. Just ahead of him is the 21 of Kevin Fry. As Hack backs off just a little bit, now he's trying to put together a momentum run on the top shelf. Meanwhile, Fry going after Shane Kelly here for position. What a battle here as Kelly is loose off of the turn. Oh, Kelly is dropping anchor here in the second half of this B main. He's got to be careful as now Fitzpatrick will get by Fry, he'll get by Vick, and now Wyatt Vick is on the bubble. And Jordan Hack can smell the blood in the water as these guys are racing hard on the back straightaway. Fitzpatrick and Fry going at it. Oh, they are loose off of turn 4, and it's opening up an opportunity here for Jordan Hack. Wyatt Vick says, man, I have got to give myself some breathing room here as Hack is all over the tail tank off of turn number 2. The last transfer spot is on the line. They're coming to the white flag this time by. Ross Corinta leads, but the question is who's going to the big show as Hack makes the move, and he'll put it into the final transfer spot. Hack is up to 8th here at the white flag. Wyatt Vick, he's going to give it everything he's got here in this final corner. Ross Corinta bringing it through 3 and 4, but the battle as Vick takes over the final transfer spot. Vick down to the bottom, Hack to the top side. Who's going to win the drag race off of turn 4? It's Wyatt Vick. Wyatt Vick with the final transfer spot in the 32W. What a move for Wyatt Vick, who had to go down on the slick side of the racetrack, down in that bottom groove, and found a way to get by. Wyatt Vick, when he came to the white flag, was on the outside looking in, and he found a way to make it happen there in those final set of corners. Warm-up session, getting ready to roll onto the racetrack. We will step aside when we come back. It's the Strickland GMA main, and you're going to see it live here on GForce TV and 3-9 Productions. Stay tuned. Welcome back, race fans, to the virtual USA International Speedway, where tonight the GForce Racing League Renegades compete in week number 2 of the Summer Series. We want to take this opportunity to thank all of our great sponsors here with the GForce Racing League. We want to thank A&J Custom Creations, sponsor of heat race number 1, BFen's iRACING Paints and Graphic Design. Well, we want to thank our great sponsors here. A&J Custom Creations, sponsor of heat race number 1. We also want to thank BFen's iRACING Paints, sponsor of heat race number 2 this evening. Also to eToronto Tickets, front row excitement. You can find them at eToronto Tickets, sponsor of our B main. As well as Malcolm Mills Millwrighting, sponsor of Malcolm Mills Victory Lane. Who will be in Victory Lane later on, we'll find out. And Strickland's GM out of Brantford, Ontario, Canada, sponsor of the GForce Racing League Renegades A main. And that is coming at you here, coming up next. It'll be a 40-lapper here from the USA International Speedway. 40 laps the distance, green flag laps, and yellow flag laps counting toward those 40. And Garrett Papiet currently quick on the timesheet here in the warm-up session. Papiet is going to take it away from the outside pole. Jack Clevenger currently 3rd fastest. Clevenger was going to start the A main from 9th here tonight. But the man that's going to bring him to the green flag tonight is Stephen Goldner, currently 4th fastest in time here in the warm-up session. He's going to take it away from the pole, and Stephen Goldner is one of those drivers that you don't necessarily want starting on the pole, because he will just absolutely take this field and step on their throats starting from the hammer. As you see Goldner working all over the racetrack, top and bottom, trying to find the quick way around, as this racetrack not groomed throughout the night. So where they start in qualifying is where they end up in the A main. They start with a fresh racetrack for practice, obviously, and then they regroom the track for time trials, and then they leave it alone. They park that water truck, park the grader, and the track is what it is throughout the rest of the night. Now, one thing, I don't know if we can get an onboard shot here, Brad, before warm-up start or end, but turn 4 has been a trouble spot all night long tonight. There is quite a little dip coming off of turn 4. We're going to ride on board here, and let's ride through 3 and 4. And right about here, right about there, there's quite a dip. There's a hole on the top side of the racetrack. And the driver that we're on board here with, Stephen Goldner, he actually has been driving underneath it so that he doesn't hit it. If he hits that bump coming off at turn number 4, it really upsets the race car. And you're going to see guys with the tail of the race car dancing all over the place. So keep your eye on that coming up here in the A main, as we see the cars getting ready to grid up here. 40 laps is the distance for tonight's Strickland's A main. Tonight's A main, powered by Strickland GM out of Brantford, Ontario, Canada. Go where the winners go, and go see Rick Scott from Strickland's GM. Get yourself a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac. All right, field is lined up here. Let's go ahead and give you the starting lineup for tonight's Strickland GM A main. Going away from the pole in car number 30 is going to be Stephen Goldner out of Aylmer, Ontario, at the Stephen Goldner Racing Ride. Starting to his outside in the Parabellum Motorsports 47, it's the Michigan Madman, Garrett Papiet. Row 2 to the inside, the young football player out of Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, in the Parabellum Motorsports number 35, that is Connor Ross. And starting to his outside in car number 11, it's the Pink Flyer out of Welland, Ontario, Canada, the American Dirt Motorsports Dirt Company Media House Ram Designs, number 11 of Chad Cote. Row 3 to the inside, it'll be the 157 of Jesse Bandy. Jesse Bandy in the 157 out of Rochester, Minnesota, the Bandy Built Race Cars ride. Starting to his outside out of Astoria, Ohio. In the B-Fins and iRacing Paints and Graphic Design F1, that is Braden Finsel. Next row back to the inside will be the 000s of Ludovic Puisen. He'll start alongside Chris Steele out of St. Catharines, Ontario in car number 80. Jack Clevenger out of Cedro, Willie, Washington. The all-in construction and landscaping 78 will start alongside Kyle Moonen in the Vanderbilt race cars number 24. Mike Schultz in the Whispering Pines Getaway Airbnb, Schultz Heating and Cooling. Number 16 is out of Naples, New York. He'll start alongside the 45 of Matthew Ramsey, the driver out of Fresno, California. Brandon Schultz out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Will start from toward the middle of the pack tonight. He'll start alongside his Vanderbilt Race Cars teammate, Brendan Lacey, who transferred out of the Rebels race tonight. Larry Moody is out of St. Louis, Missouri. He'll start alongside another Rebels transfer, Chase Hess in the 767. Ross Carinta out of Fisher, Minnesota, the Velocity Race Designs. Number 10 will start alongside Matthew Croakey in car number 2. Trevor Graybow, Sean Bowers, Jeff Fitzpatrick, Kevin Fry, Shane Kelly, and Wyatt Vick round out your starting field. Race fans, it's time to sit down and hold on to your seats because these men, by the grace of God, iRacing and 800 horsepower are ready to go to work. The Strickland's A main is green. Wow, look at everybody trying to work all over this racetrack, top, middle, and bottom. As you get back mid-pack and toward the back of the pack, that is where a ton of action is going on right now. Guys trying to take advantage of the start, and look at them, 3 wide there off of turn 2. Clevenger and Fresno, California's Matthew Ramsey getting together as they work through the corner. Still 2 and 3 wide, 1 car up into the fence. He gathers it back in, and it looks like we will stay green. Clevenger got just a little bit loose on corner entry there, and Brandon Schultz will go by to take a spot. Just ahead of him, his teammate Brendan Lacey is taking over a spot, as now here comes Kyle Moonen in the 24, Braden Finsel in the F1. This track is slippery here tonight, as these drivers are going to have their hands full for 40 laps tonight. Green and yellow flag laps count as we are keeping an eye all over the racetrack. Right now it's Stephen Goldner by a car length over Garrett Papiet, but this is a great battle out behind these guys. As we'll take a look here at the race lead, as Papiet is really keeping it locked down on the bottom, but Goldner is getting a really good launch on corner exit. Chad Cote, one of his better runs of late, right now running in position number 3, as you get a look at the 80 of Chris Steele just behind him. I think experience for Chris Steele and Stephen Goldner is going to pay off here in this feature race. A couple of guys used to racing with the wings up top, really doing a nice job here in tonight's A main, as I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle for some of the regular names that you're used to seeing at the top of the field. It's going to be a long road to hoe here tonight. And Brandon Schultz is definitely one of those guys, as he's kind of caught up in traffic right now. Schultz, who had to start all the way back in position number 13 tonight. Not used to seeing him start that far back in the pack, but a 4th place finish in his heat race, even though he was the fast timer. Really going to have to claw his way through the pack. He just got by Kyle Moonen, who made a little mistake in the entry to the corner. Schultz was able to sneak by. Now he's going to try and take another spot here from Braden Finsel, who's trying to work the outside cushion. Schultz will come up on Connor Ross, as Finsel was able to get by. And look at Schultz. Now there is that little bit of a dip on the inside of turn 1 that can also upset the race car, but when you're a driver of Brandon Schultz's caliber, man, he just drove over that like he owns the place. Finsel working the top side, Ross through the middle, Schultz down to the bottom. 3 distinct racing groups right now being used around this racetrack, and Schultz is not lifting from the bottom lane. Schultz down to the inside of Connor Ross. He'll take over that spot as he'll now go after Braden Finsel and Ludovic Buisen just ahead of him. Buisen has got Brennan Lacey ahead of him, and Lacey is not going to give up from that bottom lane as Finsel now goes to the outside, and now Schultz is going to switch lanes, and he's going to go to the top side. Yellow lights are on, our first yellow flag of the night, coming out on lap number 10. And I believe it looks like the 21 of Kevin Frey got involved in that one. Fry out of Burleson, Texas. ASCS sprint car official down in the traveling down around in and around the state of Texas. Looks like he might have got a piece of this first yellow flag here. Coming out on lap number 10 will now work lap 11. So caution lights on here as the Strickland GM pace truck. Look at that beautiful Chevy Silverado. And let's take a look at the replay. Matthew Croakey, Croakey and Fry made contact there in the 21. Somehow Fry able to get that car to flip over, had heavy front end damage. And it looked like Croakey just got bounced off of the inside wall, and when he did so, Fry was right there, nowhere to go. So Fry on the pit lane for his one quick repair. These drivers get their opportunity at one quick repair per feature race. So Fry will take his now. As we take a look here at your race leader, Stephen Goldner, who I believe will come down to the line and get the one to go signal this time by. And they do. Lights are off on the Strickland GM pace truck. So let's roll through your top 5 real quick here. Stephen Goldner, your race leader aboard car number 30. Garrett Pepiot, currently in position number 2. Now they started on the front row tonight, running 3rd. Who started 4th is Chad Cote in car number 11. Running 4th is Chris Steele, who started in 8th place tonight. And right now your top 5 is Brennan Lacey, who started back in position number 14 here tonight. And right now I would have to say that Lacey is currently your Epsilon Sprint Wraps hard charger. We'll find out who that is at the end of the race, but right now Lacey is definitely in the running. Pace truck is off, Goldner on the gas, and what a restart for Stephen Goldner. Oh baby, he took him to school that time. As the green flag is out and we are back underway, and that is not what Garrett Pepiot wanted to see there. Pepiot has been able to keep Goldner within arm's reach all night long, but Goldner got a great restart, and now Pepiot has decided to go to the outside lane. He's going to try and hammer the top. He knows that even if he was on the tail tank of Goldner, he's going to have to find a way to get by. And Pepiot says the time is now. 15 laps on the board. Boy, what a race this has been up front. Goldner and Pepiot have been the class of the field all night long as we are back under the yellow flag. One car nosed into and we got one car that's hung it on the fence. Braden Finsel's involved. Ludovic Buisen is involved. Of course, Buisen was the transfer winner out of the Rebels race, our B League tonight. That B League competes in and around 8 o'clock on Monday nights. And Finsel's got trouble there on the F1 as he has caught the concrete on the back straightaway. Here on the pace lap, he may have some damage, some pretty significant damage there on the F1. He bypasses the pit lane though, and he will continue on to gather up to the pack. Brad Ovens got to look for us here on the replay. Let's watch and see what happened. Oh, Cote got a little loose off the corner. Finsel had to react to that, and Buisen was there, no place to go. So kind of just a chain reaction there. Really no fault dealt out there that I can see here from the booth. As Cote got a little loose off the corner, Finsel was there, nowhere to go, and then Finsel down into Buisen, who then gets big air into the fence and actually hung that car on the fence. You don't see that very often. So yellow lights are on here on lap number 18. Still with 22 laps to go. And if you thought we've seen a great race so far, we haven't even reached the halfway point yet. As Steven Goldner leads this race, they should come down to get the one-to-go signal this time by. Of course, Strickland's GM bringing you live coverage tonight of the A main. Strickland's GM, go to where the winners go. Go to Strickland's GM in Brantford, Ontario, Canada. And let Rick Scott and the boys know that the GForce Racing League sent you to pick up that new GM ride. So your top five, we have had a little bit of a shuffle of the top five. Steven Goldner leads Garrett Pepiot. Chris Steele is now up to third. Brendan Lacey is up to fourth. Chad Cote has slid back to fifth. Brandon Schultz, Kyle Moonen, Ross Carinta, Jack Clevenger, and Larry Moody right now rounding out your top 10. As they will come back to the start-finish line to get the green flag and the halfway signal. Green lights are back on off turn 4, halfway home for Steven Goldner. So the first 20 laps of this race go to the driver out of Aylmer, Ontario, Canada. Steven Goldner leads them down the back straightaway. And we've got a battle as Brandon Schultz trying to crack into the top 5 for the first time tonight. He'll battle with the pink flyer, Chad Cote, off of turn number 4. Cote in the Dirt Company Media House, American Dirt Motorsports. Ram Designs, number 11. Gets a good run on the top shelf off of turn number 2. He'll take it back upstairs, up top where Mama hides the cookies. Up on the cushion. And he'll lose a little bit of ground to Lacey that time. Lacey, the dirt modified driver out of the Midwest, racing 360 sprints with us here. As, oh my goodness, look at this battle. 4 cars under a tablecloth to turn number 3. Lacey now underneath of Steele, and Lacey will take over the third spot. So Lacey now up to 3 after starting 14th. He is definitely a candidate for your Epsilon Sprint Wraps Hard Charger as Schultz now wrestles the 4th spot away from Chris Steele. Steele gonna go to the outside lane now as he'll try to build up some momentum and get a run back on Brandon Schultz. And boy, they are racing hard here for 4th. Lacey is up to 3rd, Schultz 4th, 5th is Chris Steele. And now Steele is on the attack here with Brandon Schultz. Out front, Garrett Pepiot has overtaken the race lead. Pepiot's made a move on Steven Goldner, and you've got a new race leader in car 47. Oh, and look at Pepiot just bouncing it off of the cushion there all the way around the racetrack. As we'll now go back to this battle for 3rd, as that is Lacey and Brandon Schultz. Schultz closing in here as that is a good battle for position number 3. A battle to get onto the podium here at Night's End. And Chris Steele hasn't gone away from that battle either. He is right there with these guys within a couple of car lengths. As Lacey leads Schultz down the backstretch. We'll take a look at the pass for the race lead. As it was an outside move in 3 and 4 that took the race lead for Garrett Pepiot. And with that move, Garrett Pepiot showing the way. And he is starting to drive away now as he is putting big distance on the 30 of Goldner. And Goldner now starting to fall into the clutches of the 414 of Lacey and the 193 of Schultz. Goldner is going to have to contend with Brendan Lacey, and it looks like the difference right now is Lacey is able to carry a lot more speed on the bottom than Goldner is right now. Although Goldner has now locked himself back in, and he knows how close those guys are now. As Schultz with an outside move takes over the 3rd spot. First time of the night for Brandon Schultz to be in the top 3 here on lap number 29. So 11 laps to go, and a yellow flag would change everything right now, as Papiet is out to a 3.3 second advantage over Stephen Goldner, but Goldner's got company. Here comes Brandon Schultz. Schultzy now takes over the 2 spot at the line, and the lead is 3.6 seconds for Garrett Papiet. So 3.6 seconds and stretching is the advantage for Papiet. Schultzy will now go back down to the bottom lane. And at this point, Brandon Schultz has got to hope for a yellow flag. I think that's the only way he is going to even have a shot here at Papiet in the 47. But it has been a long road tonight for Schultz, who started 13th. He's currently plus 11 spots. Not good enough yet for the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Hard Charger Award. I think that goes right now to Ross Carinta, who's currently up 12 spots. As we watch the battle here for third, it's Stephen Goldner in the 30, Brennan Lacey in the 414. As these cars start to fade a little bit here toward the end of this feature event. 32 laps on the board, 8 to go for Garrett Papiet and Lacey. Oh, Goldner's got a problem in the 30. Goldner pulled it right off the racetrack. He may be out of gas, Brad. They may have run more green flag laps than Goldner planned for. And Goldner, I do believe, is out of gas and coasting down the pit lane. Oh, what a tough way for Stephen Goldner to end his night here tonight. As now Garrett Papiet starting to pull away further and further from Brandon Schultz. The lead is up to 3.8 seconds. Papiet started on the outside pole here. Driver out of Michigan in the Parabella Motorsports, number 47. Riding back here with Brandon Schultz now, driver out of St. Paul, Minnesota, in the Bandy Belt Race Cars, BuyOil.com, Wagnerman Brothers, O2 Designs, 193, our Spring Series champion, was also our Winter Series champion here with the GForce Racing League. Was the winner of our King of the Wing, and now Ross Carinta is starting to really move forward. Carinta marching forward after starting 17th tonight. Currently up to 4th, and now going after 3rd from Brennan Lacey. Oh, look at the run that Carinta gets off the corner. Oh, Lacey tried to shut the door. They made a little bit of contact, but they'll race on, and now here comes Clevenger, and we've got a yellow flag, Brad. Yellow lights are on. Here with 3 laps to go, caution flag is out, and a 4-second lead for Garrett Papiet now vanishes into thin air. Oh no. The one thing Garrett Papiet didn't want to see was a yellow flag. And that's exactly what we just got. And with as many laps are on the board as there is now, Brad, that will put us into a green-white checkered finish, our first of 2 attempts at a green-white checkered. And here's another storyline, fans. Fuel may be a concern. We ran a ton of green flag laps tonight. I believe there was only 2 yellows earlier in the race. Now this will be our 3rd right here at the end of the race, and the question is going to be, did guys save enough gas? Did they plan enough gas? We know Stephen Goldner ran out already. He ran out with about 7 laps to go. And this is going to be interesting. Garrett Papiet out of Michigan leads here in the Parabellum Motorsports 47. Brandon Schultz runs 2nd, Brennan Lacey 3rd, but the hard-charging Ross Carinta, who started 17th and has worked his way up to 4th, might be one of the faster cars in the back half of the top 5, as he was all over Brennan Lacey for that 3rd spot. Brad, one driver we should highlight here has gained 14 spots since the drop of the green flag. That is Shane Kelly aboard car number 7. Right now, that would be good enough for Shane Kelly to pick up the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Hard Charger Award tonight. Epsilon Sprint Wraps presenting tonight's Hard Charger Spotlight. Give your iRacing paint the winning edge with a fresh coat of paint from Epsilon Sprint Wraps. So we will find out here. Lights are off on the GM, Strickland GM pace truck. And do they have enough fuel? Does Brandon Schultz have anything for Garrett Pepiot? What does Ross Corinta have late in the going? He was showing speed. Jack Clevenger runs 5th. He started 9th. He's come on late in the race. We'll find out. Green-white checkered attempt. Number 1 is green off turn 4. And there's Pepiot up to the top shelf, and Schultz, he's going to follow him. Down the back straightaway they go. Everybody trying to keep those rear tires underneath him. And here goes Schultz down to the bottom. Battle for the race lead off of turn number 4. White flag is in the air, presented by 39 Productions. And it is for Garrett Pepiot. Does Brandon Schultz have anything for him? Schultz, he's going down to the bottom. Schultz down to the inside. Pepiot off the cushion down the back straightaway. Drag race down the back straightaway. Coming to checker this time. They make contact into turn 3. Pepiot washes up just a little bit. Here comes Schultz. Pepiot slams the door shut, and Pepiot's going to win here at USA. Oh, and there's a big crash here at the start-finish line as Schultz got the door slammed shut on him coming off of turn 4. He gathered the car back in. It was fortunate that he didn't end up down on pit road. And it's Garrett Pepiot who's going to win it here tonight in Lakeland, Florida. Second across the line was Brennan Lacey. Ross Corinta was 3rd. Jack Clevenger 4th. And Larry Moody will finish in position number 5. And it looks like your hard charger tonight is going to be Ross Corinta. And we will talk to him post-race here, as Corinta plus 14 spots tonight to come home in 3rd. We'll rack up your top 3. We'll step aside here for 60 seconds. And when we come back, we'll talk to your top 3 finishers.
Introducing GForce TV. GForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GForce TV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GForce TV racing leagues. GForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GForce TV.
Welcome back, race fans, to the virtual USA International Speedway, where tonight Garrett Pepiot has picked up the win here with the GForce Racing League Renegades. But we will start with our 3rd place finisher, who just happens to be tonight's hard charger. And as we get ready to go down trackside to get a word with him, we remind you that Epsilon Sprint Wraps presents tonight's hard charger spotlight. Give your iRacing paint the winning edge with a fresh coat of paint from Epsilon Sprint Wraps. And that is for your hard charger tonight, Ross Corinta. Ross, You had a long way to go tonight from 17th spot. Tell us how you got to third.
Boy, I tell you, we Al Balducci with the setups. The car just felt amazing. Had a little VR troubles there early on where I just blacked out. Hopefully, I didn't wreck anybody's race, but everything seemed to work well. The bottom came in on 1 and 2 and running a slider line in 3 and 4 and just let her run.
Was the car strong for you right from the get-go, or did it come on late for you? Because we started to see you coming into the screen late in the race there, but how was it all throughout tonight?
Oh, it actually felt pretty good the whole time. The lines were, I was little different lines beginning in the race. I was staying high all the way around right away, but the car felt good the whole time.
Tell us what you saw of the finish there coming to the checkered flag. The leaders really battling it out there for the race win.
I was on the high side, and I think Garrett and Schultz were down low, and Brennan came up low and came high, and I figured I got fourth, and I looked down at the standings, and I was in third, so I don't really even know what happened, honestly.
Well, it was quite a battle up there, and the line that you were running, man, that was the perfect place to be coming to the checkered. Allowed you get up here on the podium and win tonight's Hard Charger Award. Congratulations to you.
Well, thank you.
Tell us about the folks that helped make it happen there for the 10 ride.
Well, like I said, it was actually an Al Balducci setup, but I mean, all the guys that twisted, Chris Sebesque, Robert Satterfield, Jason Burton, we put time in and try to get these cars as fast as we can, and then obviously Velocity Race Design for making us look good.
Absolutely, man. It was great to talk to you here tonight, and heck of a run coming up from 17th to 3rd. Great job tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I just want to say, Roger's doing a great job. This league is amazing.
Absolutely. We echo those thoughts as well. Now we'll talk to the driver that came home in 2nd place tonight, and Brennan Lacey. Man, you had your work cut out for you tonight, not just in the Renegades. You were able to transfer out of the Rebels race tonight to run here on the broadcast, and then just went to work tonight, 14th to 2nd.
Yeah, the Rebels race, I kind of like it some, even though I wish I was only in this one. But that running the B division allows me to get a little bit more track time right before the A division, which I think is a big key to the success here. But this track's definitely not one of my best tracks. But I was able to transfer through and then be able to get the set to work how I want it to and put it where I wanted to run all night, and was able to make it up front and bring it home 2nd.
There early in the race, the racing there, about mid-pack or so, where you started in 14th, man, it was tough sledding early because everybody wanted to be down on that bottom line, and there were some guys trying to make it work on the top side. And I remember at one point, you and Brandon Schultz, there was just nowhere to go because there was, all the lanes were blocked ahead of you.
Yeah, there at the start, starting outside, you're going to the fence or you're going to the middle. You're not going to make that decision until you get to the first corner. And I just know that I like the car to be a little bit snug, and when it gets slick off, I like it to just turn when I want it to. So I drove it to the center and found some grip, lucky enough. And the best thing about that is in the middle, those guys on the bottom are throwing some dirt up, so it actually helps get a little bit more grip early on. And then once the track wears in a little bit, you got to start searching. That's when I started going up top, and I went to the bottom. I was just trying to search, and then the cautions actually help because then you get to group back up and see where the other ones are running. So the track's it's a difficult track around here with all the bumps, and just glad that we could get her done.
40 laps is a long way to go here at USA. We did have some cautions to kind of help out, but was fuel a concern for you at all at the end there?
I mean, at the end, yes. I mean, that's like everybody. It's a fuel game, really, especially at this big a track. You go into it thinking that it's going to be this much, but you're also betting on how many cautions are you going to have. That's the problem. And so depending on how many cautions you have is when the fuel comes into play. But I was lucky. I think I finished with, I don't know how much I finished with, honestly, but I know it was close to running out, maybe a couple more laps, but that was it.
You almost need a crew chief that can set up a car and also does a pretty good job at the craps table.
Absolutely on that one.
Hey man, I know that that you do some racing, at the big tracks too. How has the season started out for you so far?
Third season in the USRA B mods here in Oklahoma, so still kind of a learning curve. It's actually my first season. I've been starting to run weekly, but been able to get a couple good finishes. Actually drove from 13th spot to second last Friday, so showed some great success there on the bottom of that track down there, and really looking forward to hoping this summer get a couple more, maybe even here winter too.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, you've been doing a great job being the hard charger. But maybe next week we can bring it up to the front and we'll make your job a little easier.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Great job tonight. Tell us about the folks that sponsor the 414 for you.
Yeah, I got big thanks to Vanderbilt Racing. You know, Jesse, Jeff Fitzpatrick, Schultz, they put in some crazy amount of time on these setups, and they make sure they are dialed in for each one of us on the team. Whatever we need done, they'll make it changes and all that. Big shout out to Trevor and Moonin and all those guys to get to run with. And Z-Speed Graphics is a big one, making this new car for the new season look real good for the new team. And just really can't thank all of them enough.
Well, a great job to you tonight here, coming home with a runner-up spot.
Thank you, sir.
All right, there's Brennan Lacey in the 414. And now we'll bring in your race winner here, Garrett Huppiett. The Michigan Madman gets it done again tonight here at USA. And Garrett, you had just a great run all night long tonight. I mean, just came in here to USA and just took care of business.
Yeah, it really surprised me. I didn't practice more than I ghosted a couple races before this, and I wasn't really expecting to be what I was tonight. And I want to tell Brandon Schultz I'm sorry about the last lap. I was running out of fuel and I had to go to the bottom. I didn't mean to block him or anything like that. It was fuel related. I'm sitting at the finish line right now with no fuel, so I was surprised I even got back.
So you had enough to get to the checkered and then that final pace lap, and that was it for you tonight?
Absolutely. I wasn't paying attention until that last caution come out. I looked down and I had 1.6 gallons to go with 2 laps to go, and I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't it was like, really, I might lose this race because of fuel, because I was just cruising. I wasn't paying attention. I was just hitting my marks and I was just feeling comfortable, and I was really kind of glancing at the black box, and it just never really crossed my mind until that caution come around, and it almost bit me.
Yeah, we had 2 quick cautions and then that long green flag run, and when that yellow come out, I thought, well, when you're the race leader with a 4-second lead, you don't want to see the yellow come out. But then, as these races go, then your next thought is, oh man, that's going to put us in a green-white checkered. Fuel might be a concern. And for you, at least, you definitely didn't have enough for the second green-white checkered. So fortunately, tell us about that last green-white checkered run coming to the checkered.
Yeah, I was pedaling pretty hard, and I knew Schultz was there, and I was just trying to keep him behind me, and I just knew I had to pedal it, and I was watching my fuel, and coming out of 2 that last lap, I think it was 0.5 gallons left, and I knew if I run the high side, it was going to be pretty much nothing left at the line, so I had to run the bottom.
Well, man, it certainly made for an exciting finish, and for you tonight, I mean, as far as where the car was good on the track, where were the best spots for you tonight around USA?
In the beginning, it was bottom. Goldner I'm pretty sure he had a higher gear than me. He could get more RPMs coming off. But once I moved the high side and won, I noticed I was gaining on him, and I just stuck there. And under that first caution we had, I noticed there was a tacky spot on kind of middle high of 3 and 4, and I started sliding through that and then coming off just below that little hump coming out of 4, and it worked, and I stuck there pretty much the whole race, and I pulled away, and I was surprised I even did that because I was not expecting to be that dominant.
Well, it was an exciting finish here tonight, no doubt about it. Tell us about the folks that help you out on the 47 ride as you pulled down another win here in the last couple weeks. Been a good run for you guys.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody at Parabellum Motorsports, Velocity Race Designs for giving me this awesome paint, Race Lab Apps, Alex Hanna Gaming, you guys for the awesome stream, Roger for the amazing league that he runs. Yeah, I want to thank all them people.
Well, congratulations on the victory here tonight, and we will catch you next week.
Alrighty, thank you, sir.
All right, there's your race winner tonight, Garrett Pepiot aboard the 47. He gets the job done here tonight at the USA International Speedway. Congratulations to our top three. Congratulations to Ross Carinta, tonight's Epsilon Sprint Wraps Hard Charger. And that's going to do it here from Malcolm Mills Victory Lane. Garrett Pepiot, just interviewed in Malcolm Mills Victory Lane, based in Oakland, Ontario, Canada. Malcolm Mills Millwrighting is a full-service millwrighting contractor servicing forestry and industrial clients. So that is Malcolm Mills Victory Lane. Congratulations once again to Garrett Pepiot, winner at the USA International Speedway. On behalf of Series Director Roger Craig and our executive producer in the 3-9 Production Studios, Brad Ovens, my name is Steve Ovens, saying good night from Lakeland, Florida.
Introducing GForce TV. GForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GForce TV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GForce TV racing leagues. GForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GForce TV.
That is Justin Eldridge in the Eldridge Incorporated number 25.